to be going over our August wrap-up. Well, my August wrap-up. You read whatever you read in August, but I'm going to go over what I read in August. My name's Rosalie Reads, if you guys are new here. Somewhat new channel, not a lot of videos. I'm trying to get on a schedule, but you know, work and school kind of puts that off a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into this. Just remember after you watch the video to like, comment, subscribe, let me know what books you guys read in August, and I will possibly read some of those books. So the first book I read in August was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I've been wanting to read this for a very, very long time. After I read Daisy Jones and the Six, and a little bit before I even read that book as well. This, 5 stars, I love it. This story is about the absolute icon of Evelyn Hugo. She is Cuban, and then she is like she lives in a small town, and then like her father is an alcoholic and her mother died, so she was coping with that. But then she was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a way for myself out of this. I am going to be a huge name. And she wants to be an actor. So she basically leaves where she's at and tries to get hella lot of jobs, you know, hella jobs. And then she eventually gets bigger and bigger into the acting business, and you know, she's like this huge thing. Everybody loves her, and you know, Evelyn Hugo reminds me a lot of Marilyn Monroe with a lot of things in this book. However, Evelyn Hugo was like this major like diva, icon, absolute major person. Also, she's a great person. She helps with the LGBTQ plus community, but also because the story takes place in like the 80s, she kind of has to do that on the side because this is the time period where that wasn't as widely accepted as it is now. And you know, like, there's a lot of relationship drama, a lot of friendship drama, and you know, it's like this huge thing. I did give this book 5 stars, so like, read it. If you don't read it, then like, that's okay. But if you do read it, you will know that it is a great book, and it's amazing. Anyways, moving on to our next book, which is, well, next 3 books actually. It's Dana Isley's Nick and Holly series, I think. Yeah, Nick and Holly series, which is Dipped in Holly, Claimed by Cupid, and then Bound in Cabo, which is a trilogy, and it's a whole romantic smut series essentially about Nick and Holly and their starting relationship. I would give this series overall 3 stars, as I usually do with smut books, unless like they're like out of this world beyond good. But of course, there wasn't a lot of story and plot to give 4 stars even, so we're sticking with 3 stars for the entirety of the series. However, if you do read her, I would recommend doing it on Z Library or another book site where you don't have to pay for her books, because of the fact that she is a problematic author, and it would probably be better for you not to support her, like, as an author. Spreading around the word, my editor will put a screenshot of why she's problematic right here. Moving on, we've got Christina Lauren's Love in Other Words. I've been recommended this by multiple people, specifically Steph Brower, Haley Pham, Marissa Reeds, you know, like, this is one of the books that was like huge by Christina Lauren. I don't typically like Christina Lauren as an author, but this book was good. I did give it like 4.5 stars, I think. No, I did give it 5 stars. Okay, read it in 5 days, no regrets. This is the story between Macy Sorensen and Elliot Petropoulos, which they are childhood friends. So this is childhood best friends to lovers. It does go from present tense to past tense too. So it goes over how they met, why they were best friends, and like what stopped their relationship. And it also is second chance romance because they did get together in childhood. However, they eventually broke it off because of something that happened when they were younger. And then we're moving on to future tense, and it's basically just giving everything, like how they meet again, you know, how they like get together again, and you know, like the love behind it, you know. We learn that it was a miscommunication between Elliot and Macy during their childhood, but of course, like, if I was in the situation she was in, I would probably ignore that sense of miscommunication too, because it was kind of a wild ride with Elliot. Elliot is a good boy. We love him. However, you know, no, we don't support the situation at all. Did give it 5 stars. Do highly recommend it. So if you do go to a bookstore or read it online, I would highly suggest this to you. The next book is Samantha Towell's River Wild. I gave that book 3.5 stars. It was good, but it didn't quite hold up to my standards personally. I was recommended this by Larissa Reeds. And usually I really like her ex, but this one I kind of just didn't vibe with, I think. I think more so because it was like I think I related too much to the main female character with certain topics that we'll show you in the beginning. I do suggest looking up trigger warnings. I would suggest looking up trigger warnings for some of these, actually, especially with the currently reading one that I'm gonna show you soon. So yeah, I do suggest looking up trigger warnings because there is a lot of abuse. Yeah, lots of abuse in the beginning, and then there is like a moment towards the end where it's kind of like trauma coming back with gunshots and stuff. So if you are very sensitive with that, I would suggest going in with caution if you still decide to read it, or if you don't, that's fine, that's good for you. This would probably only be a one-time read for me. I probably wouldn't go back and reread it. It's basically about, I don't remember the main characters' names because once I finish a book, I kind of zone the fuck out. So it's about this girl that is in an abusive relationship, but when she finds out she's pregnant, she decides to leave and she goes to this small town, stays there, gets a job, blah, 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 blah. And then she meets her next door neighbor, which is a grumpy son of a bitch. We love River though. There was a few things I found a little bit cheesy, but you know what, it's okay, it's okay. And then River, who's ultimately just like this grumpy neighbor. They eventually find a dog in his backyard that's drowning. Technically the girl finds it first, but then he kind of catches her in his backyard. So it's kind of like a, what are you doing in my backyard? Oh, and then they save the dog and it's like cute. Yeah, I only gave that one 3.5. And then moving on, I read From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. We love Ivan Lukov, first of all. I gave this one 5 stars. I'm fairly sure anyway. No, I gave it 4 out of 5. My bad. This is the one I got mixed up with earlier. So this is about a story about Jasmine Santos, who is a professional skater. However, she's been struggling with her career recently because of some issues with a partner and her having to back out of the partnership skating until Evelyn Lukov, who is her enemy, so it is enemies to lovers, offers a opportunity to become his partner. So they would do partner skating because he just recently lost his partner as well. And the agreement was to be only a year, but of course, when it's with Mariana Zapata and you're reading a romance book, that's not usually how it's gonna go. Because we know what happens. Because we want happiness in our lives, and you know what? I'm not gonna get that. So, okay, that being said, read it. Because I mean, this is a chonky ass book. It took me like 2 weeks to read it because I had school going on. A little over 2 weeks, yeah. Yeah, highly suggest it because, you know, Mariana Zapata is a queen. If you read All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata and also The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, you will know I love those 2 books. So this is my 3rd Mariana Zapata book. And you know, Slow Burns, if you really like slow burns, I really suggest Mariana Zapata. Next up, I did finish reading the Stalker series, so I read all of these. Giving the series as a whole 5 stars. I did end up watching the Netflix show, and I would say that it's mostly the same as the comics. So yes, I really appreciate that from the directors. So this is the story of Nick and Charlie. Nick is this rugby player, and Charlie is this outed gay boy that we love so much. However, most of the kids in his class bully him for being, you know, out and gay because he wasn't outed by choice. He was outed by an asshole. Well, not outed by an asshole, but everybody found out he was gay and, you know, like shit happened and he was bullied. And then he meets Nick and, you know, it's just this gay awakening for the both of them. And Nick thought he was straight, but no, he is bisexual and we love that for them. So this comic series is basically their entire relationship. And, you know, it's really cute. Love it. I'm realizing now how cutesy these look next to me, because I look like I dissect frogs for a living, or, you know, like just pressing state evolves hot outfits, you know? Currently reading The Crucible by Arthur Miller, reading it for school, which is basically an exaggerated retelling of the Salem witch trials. I can't really tell you much about it. We just finished with Act 1. But so far, I like it personally. And then I was looking at it and I was like, why does this guy's name look familiar? His name being Arthur Miller's. I was like, oh, this is the bitch that dated Marilyn Monroe. Wow. Wow. I don't even remember which one of the husbands. I think Arthur Miller was the asshole. I want to say he was the asshole. I want to say he was an asshole, but I'm not sure because I don't pay attention to her life all that much because I recently just started getting into her life. The next book coming up, currently reading The Outsiders, almost done with it. I plan to finish it today. I read this book in middle school, of course. I still love it. I'm loving it more now that I'm rereading it, honestly. I just gotta finish it, but so far, like, I'm as into it as I've been since middle school. I'm still in love with Dallas Winston, so, you know, might read a few fanfics or so with Dallas Winston, or reread the ones I read. This is a very good story, you know. I was at lunch today, and they were like, why are you reading The Outsiders? Are you reading that for school? And I was like, no. And they were like, why then? And I was like, because it's a good fucking book. Fuck you. So I started reading The Martian by Andy Weir, which is essentially about this guy who is an astronaut, and he got stuck on Mars, and everybody thinks he's dead. So he's literally trying to stay on Mars right now. Like, he is trying to survive. He is trying to fight for his life. So far, not that interested, but we'll see. Because I've been listening to the audiobook because I literally don't want to sit down and read the book because of the fact that it's smart and there's a lot of big words, a lot of science terms, and, you know, I kind of don't want to go through that. So I'm listening to the audiobook instead when I have time. So yeah, today I'm probably gonna end up finishing The Outsiders and then probably gonna listen to that book later. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you read any of these books, let me know. Tell me if you liked them or not. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you're doing. I love y'all, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.